Okay, now what we've got is, I did this drawing. I'm not a great artist, as you can see. But to give you an idea what I'm doing, this is, we're going to say, is the center. There's your frog. Okay, and we're going to say that's the center of the bony structure here. So what we're going to do, we want to get this foot back symmetrical. So we're going to come back to our buttress. We want it the same thickness as this from this buttress here. So this is the most hardest part, and let me do a little bit more here. So we want to trim this and get it about the same. And remember, it has to be done with the human eye. Okay? And so you've got to look from your sole, when you're looking at the sole, and look where the flare is at, and put your head on the knee and really examine the foot. And once you do that, you start removing this flare where it's the same. Okay, this is the inside of your sole. This is your hoof horn. This part here we're saying is hoof horn. So I'm removing the flare, trying to make it the same as here. Coming on around, removing the flare. The toe is a little long up here, so I'm going to take a little off where it'll be symmetrical more. And I did a little too much there. And you can see it looks more symmetrical. And that's basically that part. Now we were looking at the foot a moment ago. Let's take a look at it. We were looking, one heel needed to take off a little bit on the bottom. And we needed to do a little work on the bottom. Then once we have accomplished, we've took our toe off, we've removed our flare, then we've got to look at lateral and medial balance. That means one heel is a little longer. I got to take a little off of it. And one of the toes is a little long out here, so I got to remove a little longer than that. And then we're going to look at some things about the toe itself. Now what I'm doing, this hard part, you see how thick this buttress is here. So instead of me worrying myself with a rasp, I'm going to take this chainsaw. Now this is the 8 blade, and it really removes a lot of that foot. But it don't do as much as the 4 blade. And you notice I've got on my hand a chainsaw glove in case I make a mislick, and that'll bog that down. This thing is very light. You have to have a horse trained to use it. So I'm really taking that thick all the way back to the buttress. This is where farriers are missing. We found this out at the research center. And they're not taking that off, making it the same as the other one. Okay. Now I'm going to remove a little bit of that bar more because it's got some thrush in there. You see how a lot of foot is flying there. It's just a heck of a lot easier. And then I'm going to go down a little bit more here. Live sole. Clean a little of that out. And that is a heck of a lot better. And you can see the thickness here is about the same as here, because this side is really needs some work done on it. Now I've got to look at my sole. So I'm going to clean out a little bit, cut this off. And I think a lot of farriers are going to be shocked when they start looking at they're missing this part. Because it's difficult, you can get up here and rasp real easy once you're up under the horse. But working on it from the standpoint, when you really get to looking at it, you're going to find out this is what's causing that heel to roll under. One of the heels is going to roll under. All right, we already know the foot's flaring, and we got to figure out how we're going to nip it. So we know this heel is a little high here. So now we're going to go to our rasp. Now, generally, what I do is I'll back that rasp up. And you remember, it's not going to be that much. And the rasp cuts nothing going that way. It's only going to cut this. So you can lay it up there and just keep it right on that heel. And then you want to drop it down. And you want to side over it. Okay, now here's where we can use, now that looks pretty good right there. He's got a little bit too much here, and it's not, in this torn place, we want to fix that. It's like a hangnail there. So we're looking pretty symmetrical. And we're not going to do a lot to this broodmare, but we're going to nip a little foot now. And I'm going to get up under the horse and take just a little of this foot off before I start doing anything else.